Taking a look at the grid for the United States Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel capitalised on the mistakes of the Mercedes to claim the top spot in qualifying. The Ferrari driver lines up beside and in front of both Mercedes, however with a decent chance at the title, Lewis Hamilton is really up to his game to try and beat both his teammate and the Ferraris. After the top three, Felipe Massa lines up in 4th place with an informed Grosjean in 5th. Valtteri Bottas revives his qualifying form to claim 6th, with an impressive performance from Alonso, who outdrove his McLaren Honda to take 7th. The only forced India in Q3 of Perez took 8th, with both Saubers taking up the final spots in the top 10. Can Sebastian Vettel defend from both Mercedes tomorrow, and can the Saubers get in the mix and score some good points tomorrow? Next up is the United States Grand Prix.
What's going on, guys? Aarav here. Welcome back to my F1 Ultra Mod Career Mode, episode number 17. The Downforce Awakens. Because we're here at the USA Grand Prix for today, and because of that, I thought I'd create a very special Star Wars livery for the Ferrari car, as well as also rocking a Ferrari, Star Wars themed helmet as well. So hopefully you'll see that if I get a good enough position for you to see that in the animation at the end. But here is the livery, the Star Wars livery. I've designed this all by myself, but the rendering that you're actually seeing on screen right now, the actual graphical rendering, is done by a designer called Jake. So I'll link him in the description below. He was the one who rendered out the design for me in this kind of nice 3D model that you can see. But we've got Star Wars side pods on the side from the posters, and then we've just jam-packed the rest of the car with American sponsors: Best Buy, Subway, Netflix, GoDaddy, and also, if you know me quite well, I'm a big fan of the vlogger Casey Neistat, and I put his app company Beam on the chassis on the top. So absolutely awesome livery. I've actually really fallen in love with it, and I can't wait to use it for this USA Grand Prix. But anyway, let's get actually on to the actual Grand Prix itself. Obviously, we're starting from 20th place as usual. USA, usually quite a good track for me, so I think we'll be able to do well. Really, the plan right now is I'm ahead in the championship, so really, I just want to try and concentrate more on getting as many points as I can with Sebastian Vettel to try and overhaul Mercedes in the Constructors, because we're actually second in the Constructors Ferrari. So that's going to be the job today, and hopefully probably for the rest of the season, and hopefully I can keep the lead in the championship, fingers crossed. But let's go to the USA Grand Prix. Let's see what happens today. Let's go to the grid. Right, it's go time for the USA Grand Prix. Overcast conditions at the moment, but it should lighten up. There's no forecast for rain, so it's a straight fight. We go to 5 red lights, and we're off for the USA Grand Prix, the third last race of this season. It is getting to crunch time here, and as I said, I want to try and get as many points as I can alongside Sebastian Vettel to try and overhaul those silver arrows in the Constructors. We go down to turn 1, obviously that run up to the hill, very tight section. We nearly crashed into that Toro Rosso, actually. We got very, very close, so I had to hold my breath while I was driving there. But now we go to the S section, usually a place where there's some contact here for the AI, and there has been actually behind me. As you can see, the two manners go out behind me, but no contact in front, thankfully. And for the first time, I think ever in Ultra Mod, there hasn't been a huge crash and a red flag in that section, which is kind of a miracle, to be honest, because we've had it in Season 1 of Ultra Mod in the Williams and Season 2 of Ultra Mod in the Red Bull last season. So this is pretty damn epic that we haven't actually had a crash there for once. So no kind of neutralization of the race with a red flag or anything. But there is a big bunching up of cars here. Kvyat going so slow there. I was getting really pissed off with him, actually, but then I realized he had no front wing, so obviously he was going very slow. But that really bunched up the pack. So we cut onto lap 2 now, right behind Jenson Button. Again, some debris at the end of the straight. So again, the AI getting very flustered with each other. You can see Maldonado going very slow. Can we make the double overtake here as he's going very slow, holds our button, and we do make the double overtake down the inside of that right-hander. So yeah, the AI getting very crossed up on each other, really. They're kind of tripping over one another, kind of losing their kind of front wings, end plates here and there. So it's only helping us to kind of catch back up to them. So we're up into 14th place now. We've gone to lap 3. We've got the DRS now to be activated. We are within 1 second of Daniel Ricciardo. Can we try and maybe make a move down the inside? I wonder. We might have to be a little bit patient, but I think there is a bit of a gap here. We're going to try it down the inside, side by side with Ricciardo. There's been a bit of kerfuffle up ahead because we've got Verstappen going slower behind the Saubers. We go round the outside of Ricciardo. He still tried to make the move down the inside, but it was no use, and we're up into 13th place. But now you can see there's a little bit of a train, a 4-car train of, I think that's Sauber, Verstappen obviously, and I think that might have been a McLaren of Alonso, and they're all kind of tripping up over each other and kind of holding each other up. So now onto the next lap, lap 4 with DRS. We close up on Max Verstappen, who's been held up an absolute treat by Felipe Nasr there. He gets a horrific exit of that corner on the left-hander, and we go right around the outside of him on the next one, and we're up into 12th place. Nasr holding up an absolute treat there, and we actually make the move down the inside. We go deep though, and Nasr does a beautiful switchback on us. And that was like a beautifully choreographed dance really between me and Nasr as we kind of swap back positions kind of quite beautifully actually, and no kind of contact made there. But we're right behind him now on lap 5. Can we stick it down the inside? We're going to force him a little bit wide here. It's going to be a pain in the ass for him, and he has to give us the room, and we just about get up there for 11th place now. So we're 1 place off points, which is that man Fernando Alonso right on your screen there. On to lap 6 now. We should have DRS on him, so this should be a pretty easy move. Move to the left-hand side, and we swoop past him. No issue. Obviously, Alonso, being in the McLaren, obviously it's very, very underpowered, and I'm sure he was probably screaming in his helmet when I passed him there about many GP2 engines and such. But now we're on to lap 7 now, right behind Nico Hülkenberg, and I get a poor exit there, so he actually gets away from us in the first part of this pit straight. But then slowly the DRS helps us to close back, and now I'm thinking about a diving move down the inside. We make it work, I think, going side by side. We bang tyres a little bit. He's still side by side with us, so we still have to make sure we can squeeze him out before we get to the S section. Still there, and then just about there, he just gives up at that point. You can see him in the mirrors there on the right mirror. He just gives up just before the S section. Good decision, Hülkenberg. So now we're on to lap 9, and we're in 9th place. How about that? So it's taken us 2 laps to catch up to Grosjean, unfortunately, but now we're right on the back of him, and we're actually catching him even before we get the DRS there. So Grosjean going very slowly. Maybe he's saving some fuel or whatnot, because I'm pretty sure he would be going a little bit faster with that new Mercedes engine for this season with the Lotus, but there you go. And now we're up into 8th place, onto lap 10 now, right on the back of Marcus Ericsson, who's done quite well for himself to keep in 8th place. To be honest, I thought the Saubers would have dropped back quite a bit from their qualifying positions of 9th and 10th, but Ericsson's actually gone up 1 to 8. But now we've taken that from him, and we're up into 7th place, right behind our teammate, Sebastian Vettel. So we meet again, Sebastian. Now, obviously, if you remember, guys, in the last episode of Russia, if you haven't seen that, go check that out, episode number 16, if you have not. Obviously, we had a very, very tasty battle with Vettel. And after that race, we had a team meeting, me and Sebastian and Ferrari, and we agreed upon that we can race each other. Sebastian is within his right to put up a fight, but if it gets too much to the point where I'm losing time, he needs to back off. So let's try and see what's going to happen here. On lap 11 with DRS, we're closing up on him so much here into the braking zone. Sebastian gives me the room here. A bit of debris there actually in the end of the back straight, so I wonder if someone has lost their front wing. But we go down the inside, squeeze him out there, hang him out to dry. No Mr. Nice Guy there for Vettel there, and we're up into 6th place straight away, so no team orders needed then, which is probably the best thing for everyone. So now we can chase after Sergio Perez, who I think this is him going very, very slowly. My God. Really? Really, Perez? Really? Really? Going that slow on the right-hander? Wow. Fantastic. So now we're into the pits. We've broken our front wing. Oh my God, what was Perez doing? He had no front wing, but he was right on the racing line. You don't do that when you have no front wing. You know, go off track a little bit to give people who are still racing at normal speeds a freaking chance to overtake you easily. But no, so I hope that he gets a freaking penalty for that, because that was just absurd. So, never mind. Anyway, to be honest, that's not too much of an issue. Obviously, we were right there by the pits, so we maybe lost like 1 or 2 seconds max in that whole kerfuffle, so that's not too much of an issue, to be honest. I think we'll probably still come out maybe ahead of Vettel, I think. Fingers crossed. So I don't think we lost too much time. That was probably the best place to lose a front wing if we were going to, but wow, okay, great stuff, Perez, great stuff. So now we're going to cut later on to lap 13. We're up into 11th place. Perez behind us in 12th, and now people in the pits. I believe our teammate Sebastian Vettel is in the pits right now, because obviously it's the normal scheduled time now, and I think that is Vettel, so we'll just come out ahead of him. We're behind Ericsson actually, but we are ahead of our teammate Sebastian Vettel. So Ericsson has done an undercut, or sorry, not an undercut, an overcut on myself, and also overtaken Vettel in the pits somehow. So he's up into 6th. I'm down to 7th, so Perez did cost us 1 position there. Great stuff from Ericsson. I don't know how he's overtaken Vettel. He got the overcut on me, but I don't know how exactly he's overtaken Vettel there. He might have just got a good pit stop time in the pits and overtaken him in the pit lane. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because on lap 14 on the back straight, we overtake him with some DRS back onto the racing line. Pretty easy move, and now we're chasing after Carlos Sainz, who I don't think has made a pit stop yet, because I think it would be rather surprising if he was actually in 5th place. And so we're right on the back of him through the last part of lap 14, and there you go, he goes into the pits along with someone else, Nasser I think that was. So yeah, as I thought, I didn't think Sainz was actually legitimately in 5th place. And now we get up to 4th place at the moment. Nico Rosberg is in 3rd place, Hamilton in 1st, so I don't know exactly who is in 2nd. I think it might be one of the Williams cars, so we'll have to see about that. But Rosberg in 3rd place. And now we just kind of push as hard as we can to try and catch that man in 3rd. Nico Rosberg, obviously, our championship contender. So we cut on to lap 26, 10 laps later. And in that 10 laps, we've just been pushing mighty hard to try and catch Rosberg up. And we have indeed actually caught him up. You can see that car up ahead in the pit lane. That is Nico Rosberg, I believe. So he's into the pits now. I'm into the pits as well. He's only 2 seconds ahead of us there. So we've done really well in 10 laps to close that gap to him. But now we're on to another set of option tyres. Obviously, it's time for that pit stop. And so now we come out, and we got to just basically do the exact same thing as before. We've got to push very hard to try and catch up Rosberg. It's only 2 seconds this time, so hopefully it won't be too long till the action comes. But we're on lap 27. We're about halfway through the Grand Prix, I would say, getting to it. So, you know, it's crunch time here to try and catch Nico Rosberg up and then get on to whoever's in 2nd place and then 1st. We'll have to see about that if we have the pace. Obviously, I think Hamilton's had some mighty pace, so he might be quite a few seconds ahead of us by the time we overtake Rosberg. So anyway, we come on to lap 27, or lap 28 I should say, and we're into 4th place once more. Sebastian Vettel makes his pit stop, so he's going to be down in 5th at least, I hope. But we've got DRS on Nico Rosberg, which means we are within 1 second of the German here. We go through turn 1, you can see his name tag popped up, so we are very close to him, and hopefully we can try and make a move on the back straight perhaps, and here we are on the back straight talking about that. So we're closing up on him even before we get DRS again, so perhaps Rosberg saving some fuel, or maybe just that Mercedes engine is an old Mercedes engine he's got in the back of his car. He's not changed to a new one yet, and we're up into 3rd place now. Pretty easy move, really. Rosberg doesn't put up too much of a fight. So as we've stated at the beginning of this episode in the Sky Sports News segment, I feel like I've mentally already broken Nico. We've seen in real life that he's quite mentally unstable sometimes. He gets broken down quite easily by Hamilton in terms of the kind of psychological battle, and I think, to be honest, personally, I think I've psychologically broken him and kind of won that battle for him, because he made that move pretty damn easy. And we can see Massa in 2nd place and Hamilton in 1st. But anyways, as you can see on screen right now, we're making our pit stop, the final pit stop for the prime tyres. We're going to the end of the Grand Prix on the... What is happening? Ferrari... What? 7.4 pit stop time. Rosberg is now back ahead of us. So I said that we mentally won the psychological battle, but clearly my pit stop crew have not won the battle with the Mercedes pit crew, because what was that? 7.4. I think we got held up by McLaren, I think that was. I saw in the background there. So as I was saying, we're going to the end of the Grand Prix on this set of tyres, the prime tyres, and now we've got to catch back up to Rosberg, try and overtake him. So on lap 46 now, 10 laps to go. We're taking 5 laps to catch up to Rosberg. These prime tyres have actually been disgusting to turn on. They just haven't really switched on. I haven't been able to get the grip working, but right now we just set a purple lap time. So now after 5 laps, they're starting to switch on now. We've got -1 of fuel. I'll have to watch out for that later, but right now I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about trying to overtake Rosberg to try and get more points over him in the championship, because obviously also, if Hamilton's leading the race at the moment, I need to try and overtake him to get as many points as I can for the constructors, because at the moment, if it ends up like this, me and Sebastian are going to lose more points to them in the constructors, which would be a real shame if I ended up winning the championship, but not the constructors for Ferrari, which would be pretty damn sweet if I could win it for them. So now we've gone down the inside of Rosberg before we even hit the back straight, side by side here. Are we going to get DRS, I wonder? Who hit the detection point first? I think it might be me. Yes, it was. So we open DRS now. But Rosberg, really good speed at the moment. I put it down to lean to try and save some fuel now because we've got DRS. He's going to try and maybe go side by side with me, but I may as well put it in lean right now to save the fuel. And we have made that move back for 3rd place. Once again, an easy move there, showing that Rosberg is a little bit kind of maybe disheartened right now at this point in the season. He's been beaten quite a few times now by myself and his teammate. And now lap 54, we're in 2nd place at the moment, as you can see, because Lewis Hamilton is out of the Grand Prix. You can see on the left, 14th place. I don't know exactly what happened, but this is huge for us. for the constructors. Massa is leading the Grand Prix by now by 41 seconds, so we're not going to get first, but we sure are going to get second place right now. We're going to kind of settle down for the race. We've got only 2 laps to go. It's kind of into the relaxing zone at the moment. I'm in, you know, watching my fuel. We're in standard at the moment. We're optimum fuel at the moment. Rosberg comes back at us now on lap 55 on the back straight. As I said, I'm sort of in coasting mode. I wasn't really expecting that, but we go back down the inside of him, and once more, really easy to defend from him. I'm pretty sure Rosberg is completely just baffled and just confused and just defeated at this point. Felipe Massa wins the Grand Prix. I come in home in second place. Sebastian Vettel, I hope, is in fourth, which means we will get a whole load of juicy points on Mercedes in the constructors. That was a really solid Grand Prix for us. Hamilton going out there was also just wonderful for us. That really helped us a lot. There you go. Sebastian Vettel does get 4th place. So it's a 2-4 for us. That's really going to help us in the constructors there to try and overhaul Mercedes. We haven't done it quite yet, but hopefully, obviously, in the next 2 races, Brazil, then Abu Dhabi, we can overhaul them. But Felipe Massa wins the USA Grand Prix. Brilliant for him. And obviously, going into Brazil, he'll be maybe hoping he can do a repeat of that. But Rosberg there, beaten again. And that means in the Drivers' Championship, I'm leading the way by 246 points to his 237. So we are very comfortable in the championship. I'm not going to lie, I do not have a lot of pressure in the championship, in the drivers for at least. I am feeling very confident about trying to win this championship. And, unlike Season 2 in the Red Bull, where we had to overtake Hamilton on the last lap to get the championship, this has been a very different kind of season. It's been a very consistent one for me, and so far that's showing, and I'm very comfortable in the championship. But in the constructors, we still have work to do. We have to overhaul Mercedes. We're doing a good job. We're on 402 to their 428, so we need to try and finish off the job in the last 2 races, guys. But if you have enjoyed that episode, smash that like button. It'd be absolutely awesome. We're going to try and get over 1,000 likes again for this episode. If you did enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly videos, guys. I've been aarava. Tune in next week for the next episode, Brazil, the second last race of this season. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time.